This is the RV Advisor Podcast with your host, Tom Alexander. Get all the latest information, trends, advice from experts, stories from the road, and more in the world of recreational vehicles. Now, here's Tom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the RV Advisor Podcast. I'm Tom Alexander, and I'm joined, of course, by our fearless leader, Gigi Stetler, and there she is. And we have a special guest today. Joining us from the great state of Virginia, it is Shenna Shotwell. Shenna Shotwell, and hi, Shenna. Welcome.
Hi, thanks. Nice to be here.
It's great to have you, and I know that there's every now and then. Well, I shouldn't say every now and then. It's quite frequent that we have this recurring theme on this program with Camping World in being a real challenge for folks. We'll put it that way. And I know you have a story to tell, and we're going to share it right here. And just remember, if you feel like getting real angry, just remember kids are watching. So go ahead and share your story.
I'll try to beep out my own cuss words.
There you go.
Yeah. So December of 2016. We found the coach of our dreams, our DRV mobile suites. We had been looking at the mobile suites since 2012. So we found the coach of our dreams at Tom Marion Camping World in Marion, North Carolina. And we went, long story short, we decided to buy it. And that was the beginning of the nightmare. When I say the ink wasn't dry on the contract before the service manager of this Camping World told us, this is his words, "I'm so glad that piece of is out of here." That was the beginning.
That's a nice first shot across the bow. What the heck happened there?
Yeah, I'm not really quite sure. He was, we were in the golf cart, and he was taking us back to the unit, and that's when he said that. And I should have said something right then and there, but I didn't. Whatever. We walked around the coach. We got in the coach. They supposedly did the walkthrough with us, and we noticed quite a lot of things were bad. And we would mention them to the man that was walking us around. He seemed to be writing these things down when we were mentioning to him. So long story short, we took the coach. Got it back home. We were living in this coach, and Camping World knew this. This was going to be our home. We chose to live small, and we wanted to do it in luxury, and that's what we were doing. So I was just reading through my notes here, and oh my gosh, the blatant lying is absolutely phenomenal with this case. 4 weeks in, we already had a list of 64 line items that were wrong with this coach. Jeez. I called 64. This is a 6-figure luxury coach that we bought. I called Camping World and told them the things that were going on. They said, "Oh, Miss Shotwell, we're so sorry you're going through this, but we'll have to have the coach here so that we can identify all of these things and file a warranty claim." So, okay, fast forward a little bit further. We made arrangements to be at the Camping World at the end of February of 2017, and they were going to take a look at the things, repair what they could really quickly, and then send us, order what we needed and send us on our way. When we got there, they didn't even know we were coming. So we're starting a 3-week vacation. First 5 days, I think, was planned on being there so they could do some repairs. Mm-hmm. Well, they kind of fit us in, It took 5 mechanics the better part of 2 days to figure out why the lighting wasn't coming on in part of the coach. So they finally figured it out, whatever, and then sent us on their way. Okay. Supposedly they had ordered parts to do the repairs. We did mention that the slide out on a 43-foot fifth wheel, the driver's slide, came out on its own. We mentioned that. They said something about some fluid manifold apparently was losing pressure. Okay, well, it was really outstanding to me because The guy looked at me, the little repairman looked at me and said, "It's just losing pressure." And I said to him, "Then why didn't you fix it?" And he just walked away. That was the first instance. Okay. I'm going to fast forward. We went through, I think it was about 18 months of going back and forth with Camping World and DRV. When you're driving a 43-foot coach with a big, huge Dodge Ram 3500, you're over 60 foot long. If we're driving down a freeway and the entire driver's side slide comes out as you're doing 70 miles an hour, I would think that is a hazardous place to be.
Yeah.
Apparently, and I have all the emails to prove this, nobody with Camping World or DRV thought it was a big deal. As a matter of fact, not one time did I get advice or help of what to do with that.
Okay? Let me ask you something. Let me ask you really quick. You're driving and the slide comes out on the driver's side. Right. That had to feel like that. I can't, like, what did that feel like?
You can feel the trailer getting a little wonky, but it doesn't really vary that much. I mean, the slide is just inching out. It didn't ever like wham out. It would just inch out. Gradually could get used to it. Now, I'll tell you, we were going to a camp. We were on a 2-lane. It was a highway, but it's a 2-lane highway.
Yeah.
So my wife is driving the truck and the fifth wheel. I'm driving in our old Volkswagen bus behind her. We're going to the campground. Suddenly the slide comes out and there's nothing I can do. There is a semi coming towards us. If you could only see this little stretch of road, you would understand that neither one of us had anywhere to go. This semi, I don't know how he did it, but he moved far enough to his right that we could get by him. That was the second time that day that slide came out. Called Camping World. They did absolutely nothing. Nothing. We got to a point where the arrangements were being made. Well, like I said, we were living in this fifth wheel. Okay. So we had to make arrangements for repairs. They talked us into letting one of their drivers come get it, take it to Marion, fix it, and bring it back to us. Okay, fine. We will do that. The night before, so 5 o'clock, it's 5 or 6 o'clock, the night before, they were supposed to bring us an RV to live in while they fixed ours. Jeffrey Boudreau, the then service manager of Camping World, called me and said, "No, we're not going to do that. We changed our mind." So I said, he was supposed to have a driver come the next day to pick up the coach to take it. And I said, "Well, then you got to cancel it. We have no place to go. We have 3 dogs." So living in a very rural, tiny community with 2 very little tiny motels, they're not pet friendly. So we had no choice. We did make arrangements. The following week, they came to pick up the RV. Now, I want you to know, my wife, and a neighbor, and myself, we walked around this coach the entire time Bill, their driver, was there to pick it up. We took photographs of everything, inside and out, videos, the whole thing. Bill took the camper to Camping World, and about a week later, I got a phone call from the service rider, and she says to me, "Miss Shotwell, we can see where you wrecked your fifth wheel coach. There's damage all up underneath the coach. The entire back end is falling off. You're responsible for this damage." And I let her go on for a few minutes, knowing that coach wasn't like that when it left. Yeah. So she kept saying, "It's our fault. You're responsible. How are you going to pay for this?" And blah, blah, blah. And that's when I let her know, "Amanda, I have photographs of this coach before it left me." She backpedaled so quickly. It's just incredible. I wish I had that on a recording because it was really kind of funny.
Well, speaking of recordings, we're gonna get to some recordings.
Yes,
a little bit here down the line. But Gigi, jump in for a second because I want to ask you. These kinds of stories that we're hearing from Shenna are not uncommon when it comes to Camping World, correct?
No, they're not, and I mean, we probably get, I don't, maybe 15 between messages or about Camping World or emails, writing to the law department of the RV Advisor, or making a statement on that website, victimsofmarcuslamonis.com. So 15, 20 a day. And that's just, that's probably a small number of people that actually have,
a day, not a week, a day.
Yeah, a day.
Geez.
It's and especially like 2021, and partially through 22, because, obviously after post-pandemic, sales were through the roof. So I think he boosted something like $2 billion in profit. Camping World made $2 billion in profit, I believe, in the end of 2021. Well, it's easy to do $2 billion worth of profit when you don't fix anything. And I would probably have a sure bet that that the repairs that do come in and the authorizations that they get, it wouldn't surprise me if they billed for those repairs to the manufacturers, just didn't do the work. It wouldn't surprise me. I have no proof of that, and that's just an allegation, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Well, let's listen. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. And on the other side, we're going to listen to a very interesting recording, and we'll sort of figure out where this all stands at this point. Our guest is Shenna Shotwell, calling us from Gaston. Did I get that right? Gaston, Virginia. Lake Gaston. There you go. Lake Gaston. Along with Gigi Stetler, I'm Tom Alexander. We'll be back on the RV Advisor podcast in just a moment. Stay tuned. Do you have a business geared towards the RV and outdoor enthusiast? The partners and services you offer target RVers and outdoor enthusiasts' wants and needs. The RV Advisor's Partners page provides discounts for several of our partners through our assigned promo codes and direct links. Why not partner with us today? Visit thervadvisor.com/partners. That's thervadvisor.com/partners. We are back on the RV Advisor podcast along with Gigi Stetler. I'm Tom Alexander. Our guest is Shenna Shotwell from Lake Gaston, Virginia. And, before the break, we were talking about how this whole nightmare with Camping World was going down. And boy, I'll tell you, just crazy. Now, I know that there's a series of phone calls that occurred. And I'm going to let Gigi pick up the story here. And we're going to hear a little audio from this as well. So Gigi, why don't you pick it up?
If I'm not mistaken, your wife is Cheryl, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I remember you guys calling me one night pretty late. You were hysterical, upset, and that you had received a phone call, a couple of phone calls. It was a couple of hangups or something, and then they were threatening you. And they actually identified themselves as Camping World managers, and they were threatening you, and you played the recording for me. It took a while to figure out how to play it for me. And it was something that I mean, in taking it outside the equation of the professional world, because I mean, to identify yourself as a manager of a big, multi-billion-dollar corporation, to behave that way, it's unbelievable. So I think we should let the audience, have a listen. But it was a series of a couple of them, and it went on for a little while. So maybe what we'll do, because we won't have time for everything, so maybe let's just, let's get the ball rolling. Let's play a little bit, and then, we'll go from there. But we may have to do a follow-up, a follow-up podcast, just, because we this is juicy, and it's
shocking,
juicy, crazy.
It's its own podcast, folks. Yeah. I mean, it should really be a series. All right, let's do this. Let's take a listen right now. Here we go.
Okay. Well, prefer. Thank you for being so grateful and understanding.
I prefer.
Thank you for that. You've been really grateful, understanding. You really are the salt of the world's lady. Like, we need more people like you in the world. I mean, he could be at home, like, with his new child and his wife helping his child. But no, Timothy has decided to go to work on a Sunday to help people like you. And you repay him by being a complete and utter So, thank you, man. Thank you. You truly are the salt of the earth. And I in no way wish that you get coronavirus and die pretty soon. Like, I'm not thinking that at all. You know, I'm not thinking of the 400,000 people we lost and how I would love for you to be one of them and us to get some of the good people back.
And you're being recorded. And who did you say that you were? You are?
This is Jamie Thompson from Camping World talking to a Karen who writes in a complaint and is completely unforgiving, unapologetic for just being a complete So thank you, but you are the salt of the earth, man. And we need more people like you. Do you plan on kicking any homeless people also today? Maybe you might want to go out there and, you know, kick some homeless people while they're down. Or maybe you might want to, you know, call an ambulance and when they arrive, throw hot water in their face. Because that's what people will try and help you. Hello?
Well, I'm just kind of flabbergasted that you guys call me at 9:15 on a Sunday night, and whoever this guy Timothy.
I know. Timothy, yeah, he's great. Like, he's just after having his first new child.
What is the
a week-old child at home with his mother or with his wife, and he's coming to work today during a global pandemic, risking his life. And he even donated a kidney last year.
Okay, so what do you want? What do you want?
In return for him doing that.
What do you want? You're camping.
Like a complete nightmare.
You're Camping World. What do you want?
Camping World.
What do you want from me?
I would like a world where customers aren't just complete scumbags. I would like for you to die. Is that acceptable to say? I wish you were dead.
Oh my.
I just wish we had a better world than we have with you. You know,
I can't wait to put this recording on Facebook because that's exactly where it's going. And you're
I don't care, bitch. I'm leaving. Hey, I'm on furlough next week. I'm out of here.
This call is over. Bye-bye. So that was Camping World calling us on a Sunday night, January 31st. It is almost 9 o'clock, and it's quite extraordinary. So obviously I'm getting to them and getting under their skin, and I will keep going. Thank you.
Hello, is there Mrs. Shotwell available? My name is Scobie. I'm a manager with CW with Camping World. I believe you're just speaking with a couple of our employees. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Hey, ma'am, if you don't mind me asking, can you please tell me what exactly happened? One of my supervisors here, Jamie Thompson, I believe he spoke to, he's actually, can you just tell me how that conversation went, please? I'm just trying to figure out what's going on here.
I have it recorded. So he used very explicit language. All sorts of things. Hoped I'd die, get coronavirus, get added to the 400,000 people that are already dead, wondering if I'm going to go stab some homeless people. So yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation with
That was from the supervisor, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, that was from the supervisor you spoke to just now?
Yes, sir.
He said that to you?
I have it on recording.
Do you mind if I ask, were you maybe using, it doesn't really matter if you were or you weren't, but were you maybe using bad language yourself, or
No,
I'm just
sir.
trying to figure out how the call got to that point.
No, sir. I have it on recording.
Is there any possible way that you'd be able to play that for me, ma'am? I've never heard anything like that before. It seems to make a lot of sense to me.
No.
You actually let me off.
Well, you know what? I tell you what. You guys can call me tomorrow on a Monday when it's an actual work day. I'm on the East Coast and I'm getting ready to go to bed. So.
And I do appreciate that, ma'am. I want to thank you just for even talking to me just now for a couple minutes. I really honestly do appreciate that. But
no, sir.
I just give me about one more minute here. I'm just trying to gather a couple more details. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out, like I said, what is going on. You spoke to one of the supervisors, the conversation turned, and tomorrow I'm sure you'll be able to document everything that you said you had the recording, right? You'll be able to play that recording for me sometime tomorrow, please?
Sure. I think absolutely. I need to give it to my attorney first. That's what I should probably do, or get an attorney. Anyway, this is very unprofessional. This is very unprofessional of Camping World, and quite frankly, I don't believe this is really Camping World after all.
I didn't mean to upset you or give you that, indication that we're off, but I'm sorry about that. Now, again, I was told I need to go ahead and contact you immediately.
Well, I tell you what.
I need to know what the initial complaint was. Just answer me this. Did somebody contact you initially before you spoke to Jamie?
Yeah, one other person. Some guy
named Tim, who apparently his wife has just had a baby.
What was that name? I'm sorry? What was that name, ma'am?
Timothy or Tim or something?
Timothy.
Apparently.
You spoke to Timothy before you spoke to Jamie?
Yes. Apparently.
Why was that call escalated?
I couldn't begin to tell you, sir. I have no idea. But it's standard Camping World protocol that I've been dealing with for almost 4 years now. So nothing really surprises me. It kind of took me aback, but you know what? It's standard protocol. I'm going to make sure that this phone call recording gets out to every social media site that I can possibly post it to.
I understand, ma'am. The last name there, that's Shotwell, correct? Shotwell. I'm just pulling up the information.
Yes, it is.
And the first name, how do you say that? It's an Shenna?
That's correct.
I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it Shenna? Sorry, Shenna?
That's correct.
Shenna.
Shenna.
Shenna. Okay, thanks, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
I've been with the company for such a while. I've never quite seen anything quite like this before.
Yeah,
whatever one said, and I want to give the call just as much, but he has left. Mr. Thompson is gone. To be honest with you, I don't think we're going to be seeing him anymore. And again, there was no bad language on your part, nothing. He just kind of...
No, I just let him ramble. And it's all I'm recording now, so... And your call's being recorded as well.
That's perfectly fine. I did give you permission. And again, I want to thank you for your time. I understand it's late. It's Sunday. Busy plans tomorrow. But you said that Mr. Jamie Thompson, you just let him dribble down your face. Is that correct?
Yes.
Dribble down.
Okay.
That's professional speak. Yes.
Dribble down.
Stupid hole. Are you normally a swallower, or do you usually like it on the beach? Do you like knock your tits usually? How does that usually work?
And this is still Camping World. Is that right?
I have to document the file.
And okay, so what was your name, Scooby?
The young lady, yes, the young lady in the background, does she normally like it on her tits? I'm sure they're pretty saggy at this point.
Okay, this call is over. Thank you.
Call back and check on that phone number again.
Oh
Okay.
my God.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
It's shocking. It is shocking, the language and wishing us dead. That's professionalism at its finest.
I didn't remember all that. It's been what, 2 years or something. So I thanks for the flashback. Wow.
Yeah, a little refresher. Was that, Gigi? A little bit of a refresher?
The refresher. I wishing you dead was well, that was the first thing that got my attention. I was like, what? Who says that?
Right.
Like, who, especially professionally, who says I wish you were dead? I couldn't even imagine that in my worst enemy, nightmare, whatever, to wish somebody dead. That's unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm sorry, my puppy's wanting.
Hi, pup.
There's Nuggets. Anyway, yeah, the recordings were absolute, and they started at 8 or 8:30 Sunday night, and so we're preparing for the week and everything else, and all of a sudden that happens and it wrecked us. I mean, it was bad.
Yeah, it's just horrible. I saw a story on 60 Minutes on Sunday night with a situation that occurred with eBay, with some of their most higher ups, and threatening people with folks that were writing real, just your basic reviews, and these people's lives were being threatened. And this is coming from inside eBay. High up the chain, the management chain. So it's interesting when you said it's hard to believe a professional company, a company as big as Camping World, and with at least, I would imagine, wanting to paint themselves in a good light, but clearly not, and doing this kind of a thing. I guess it's not as rare as we think that, these big companies have their goons, if you will.
Exactly. They're untouchable. They think
refresh my memory. Didn't we send the recorded calls to Marcus Lemonis personally, and to that email chain, and to the lawyers and everybody,
and to DR, right? And
nothing. Nobody cared. I you got a police report, right? You did call the police.
Oh, the sheriff came the next day. They were so vulgar, he wouldn't listen to those calls.
Yeah, I mean, there's something like out of a dumpster. I mean, the garbage talking. But yeah, I which was even more. I was more shocked after, no response from the emails, and nobody cared. Nobody cared that their employees could talk to a customer like that. I thought he was drunk, at first. I was, giving him the benefit of the doubt that he might have been drunk, drunk or something, but then I remember the next call, he tried to clean up one conversation and then ended up burying himself even more or something. So, which we'll save that next call for another day, which I'd love to follow up with you very soon, because we still got to get to the bottom of the story, how you got out of this nightmare and you're living the dream again. So
yes, exactly.
Which, Tom, I think we're almost out of time. So maybe we set that up for the next time. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I'd love to have you back on again, Shenna, and we'll continue this in another episode. And we really appreciate you taking the time out to join us today on this show, and sharing with us just how nasty things can get. And it's unfortunate. This is not what certainly you bargained for, or anyone else would want to bargain for, when they're trying to live their lives and have a nice, beautiful home on wheels.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not, it did not pan out that way in the least. So we'll have you on again very soon for episode 2, and follow up on all this.
I wish you would have met me before you walked into that dealership, which is why we're on a massive, campaign march, to, raise awareness of not having somebody, to watch your back. So,
right. And you are, I'm just going to take whatever time we have left. You were our angel in that whole horrible experience. You were the one that made everything right for us. You were the one that gave us hope again for that, because we totally thought we were gone and lost, so we'll always remember you for that, Gigi. Always.
I mean, you could give the brief story. I think I picked it up for you, right? I picked it up and
Yes.
and brought it to my shop, and I repaired it. And
yes, you fixed everything on it, everything. You picked it up in North Carolina and took it all the way down to South Florida, right? And I mean, yeah.
And I think I even made you some money on it. I rented it for temporary and got you some money, made you some money, and then got it saleable ready. And it wasn't my market to sell something like that, but you ended up selling it to someone in California and got your asking price, which was fantastic. You know,
exactly. Actually, we got more than asking price, which was it was really cool.
that was fantastic. And I tried to sell it. It's just, there's certain markets and certain,
of course.
It doesn't, I don't sell those high-end coaches. And it wasn't my mission to, get you as a Planet RV customer. That wasn't our, but, as far as sales, but it wasn't our market. But I'm glad that I was able to put it in tip-top shape, for you to get over asking price, which is fantastic.
And I promise you this, when we're ready to buy another RV, which won't be long, we're coming to Florida. So I can promise you that.
Well, even if you don't buy the RV from me, you make sure you don't do anything without hiring GPS,
Never.
And I will tell you that route from North Carolina to South Florida, we like to refer to lovingly as the Waffle House tour. So,
I don't know anything about that, but okay.
Well, there's plenty of Waffle Houses through the Carolinas, Georgia, and Florida. That's all I could tell you. All right, folks, we're done for this episode. Shenna, we really appreciate your time, and we'll visit again very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for all you do.
All right, for Gigi Stetler. For Gigi Stetler, I'm Tom Alexander. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the RV Advisor Podcast. So long, everybody.
Bye.